are now tuning in to the Evolution Daily Podcast.
Bum 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 bum. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Evolution Daily Podcast. This is the world's #1 podcast that was voted upon by 3 guys who were on a boot camp. We asked them if this was the #1 podcast in the world. They were hesitant to respond, but Alpha Chad talked some sense into them. So, there was about 3 guys who said this is the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. You're welcome, actually, really. Why should I thank them for tuning in?
Why should you thank the fans?
Yeah, like, what are they're like, thank you for tuning in. Like, what are you're not doing anything for me.
They're tuning in.
Yeah, but like, I don't care. I don't
Okay.
need anybody to turn it. This is what people don't understand. I would be doing this anyway.
Yeah.
This is just what I do anyways. Like, anybody who's had the misfortune of being a good friend of mine, this is just what I do anyway. I just rant and rave, and, I keep it positive. I yell a lot of things, and, this is what it looks like to be on a date with me. If you've ever wondered, like, wow, these women getting seduced by Aaron, I would love to be in their shoes. If you've ever had that thought, this is what it looks like. I'm in a dirty chair. Usually I bring Alpha Chad along. You should come on dates with me.
I might learn something.
That would be good, actually. Yeah, you should watch my dates.
What's he doing here?
I've only ever recorded 1 date. No, two. And there was a lot of pressure I felt with Thrive. People really want to date infield. I was like, all right, I'll do it. I listened back to it, and I'm like, this feels so bad.
Like wrong?
It felt so wrong,
Yeah.
dude. Like, it felt awful, so I chose not to do it. And then, the one time where I even was just like, fuck it, anything for the content, then I got caught. And the girl was in my Airbnb yelling at me. If I so much as end up, you don't have my permission to use my fucking likeness, my show. I'm like, oh my God, get out, get the fuck out.
Holy shit.
Texted me the next day on the boot camp, I'm gonna sue the fuck out of you, motherfucker. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And around that time too, she I think she put me on blast on social media, because then I got a bunch of followers that were sending me, like, new followers, and people sending me fucked up shit.
Oh shit.
You're filming girls on dates, you fucking creep.
That's what it's like to dabble in the dark arts.
Yeah, and you know what, man? It's there's this incredible video from Alex Jones where, there's these videos of him when he's 19, 20 going around. He's young, he's in shape, he's jacked, and, tons of people were posting, oh my God, what happened to Alex Jones? Now he's a fat, grotesque fuck. And Alex Jones made this incredibly inspirational rant. It's very hard to find because he's, censored off of everything, which he will probably soon be back on Twitter, which is very exciting. But he made this amazing rant about how, dude, it's inspirational.
Okay.
I'm going to show it to you, actually.
Sure.
I'm going to show you the rant. I don't know if we can really get away with putting InfoWars content in this podcast, unfortunately.
Might get banned.
I think it would get it pulled. Yeah, genuinely. But he rants. He's like, yeah, I look like fucking shit. I'm fat. I'm a fucking alcoholic. I look like shit. And he rants about how all his body is a vessel for his soul's mission. And he's ranting about how he's dedicated his life, sleepless weeks, everything he's gone through to bring the awareness of the New World Order and to take down the fucking elites throughout the years.
Yeah.
And it's really inspirational, actually. And I think that the world is really lacking in men that are willing to actually do anything for their mission. At all. I mean, anything. Guys won't even go to the fucking gym for their mission. They won't go talk to girls for their mission. They won't fucking go any further than watching a ClickFunnels video for their fucking mission.
I'm convinced there's a lot of guys that don't even have a mission.
They have no mission. Without mission, you have no direction.
What is a mission?
A mission is something where you just come to the conclusion, you either believe in something or you don't. So if you believe in something, then your mission is going to be based around those beliefs. So there's people where they are extremely religious, and so they're going to, maybe become missionaries or spread the word of God. And so that's something they deeply believe in. There's people where they have an encounter with an impoverished group of people, potentially a a tribe of Africa that's starving to death or has no water, poor people in the inner cities. And so they then believe, wow, this encounter I've had with these people, they deserve a better life. I'm going to dedicate my life to making their fucking life better. So there's missions that involve believing in something. And then there's missions where maybe you don't really believe in anything, but you just decide, okay, there's some universal laws here. There's some universal laws. I think maybe if I had a way better body, if I was fucking some really hot chicks, if I was making some more fucking money, if I was more social, if I had more friends, if I built a family, there's these things where you just take leaps. And you kind of look around you and you say, what seems to really make people happy? Do I have any of those things? Do I have maybe one of them, but I'm missing some? And so you really ultimately set out on a mission to just be as happy as humanly fucking possible. And that's a lot of people's mission.
Okay.
That's what it should be. At the end of the day, the guy who is day in, day out at the gym, building his body only so that way it can eventually decay into his old age and then decay in the ground as he's dead. You know, what is that mission really accomplishing? What it's really accomplishing is what he believes deep down is making him the happiest he can possibly be. And so you have to really aim and fight to be happy in this life. And I think that in and of itself is a very noble mission. And I think that a lot of, there's a big reason why I rail so much against negativity, with personal relationships, with girls I've been with, where I had to really lay down the line and say, hey, listen, I fucking love hanging out with you. Every time we hang out, you're like talking shit about everybody and everything. I'm not going to be the guy. I'm not the one to listen to all that. And girls will get really triggered and mad.
Really?
But then I've had that talk with at least 3 girls that are immediately popping to my mind. And every single one of them has ended up saying something to me where they're like, you're right. I really do need to be more positive.
Wow.
They end up coming around to that. First, they're mad. But it's because, there's 2 ways to view this world. And I think a really easy way to sum it up is I have to do life versus I get to do life.
Dude.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Just today, I've been thinking deeply on happiness.
Yeah.
And I was watching some Abraham Hicks.
Nice.
Like I do now.
Yeah.
And she said, oh man, I hope I don't butcher the quote because I only said it once earlier just before I came over. But she was basically like, you need to practice happiness. If you you won't be happy on the vacation if you're not happy at work.
Love that. Yep.
You got to practice happiness. It's not, everybody thinks that it's going to be this external thing that finally brings it. But I think it really is this thing where you got to practice it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, a major revelation I think I've had many, many times now in the last couple of years is I'll have this revelation where it will kind of hit me again and again where I realize, damn, I spend so much of my life, and we all spend so much of our lives planning for a time when, preparing for the future when, waiting until when I this, then I that. And I've been in these moments where it just hits me and I'm like, oh, this is life right now. I'm living it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Bro, I just put out my music.
Yeah.
After 12 years.
Yeah.
I had planned for it to be this big thing. I feel nothing.
Ah, wow.
I'm really proud of the songs.
Yeah.
And all that, it's really cool and I feel really good. I don't feel nothing. But man, all the years I spent trying to make it that one moment so perfect.
Wow.
And I have a little release party with my friends. Half of them are late. Some don't even show up. Man, it's just it really does change the way that you spend your whole life thinking, oh, this one moment that I'm planning for is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But in reality, then I had to reflect back on the how the past 12 years have been the best 12 years of my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes you think. You know?
Yeah. It is. It's Bert Kreischer. He always tells a story about how he, back in the day, the absolute pinnacle of making it as a comic was being on Comedy Central. When you told your friends, yeah, I'm doing these open mics, even if you told them, oh, I do some shows, it's like whatever. But now when you're on TV, Comedy Central, it is fucking game over. Here we go, motherfucker. And Bert Kreischer said he wanted nothing more in this world than to do his, what at the time was called the Comedy Central 30-minute special. It was called your Comedy Central half hour. And that he finally got it, and leading up to it, he just couldn't believe it. He was just, here we fucking go. And he says that the next 3 days of his life were the most depressing 3 days of his entire life.
Wow.
Because it was so uneventful to him to have done it. It was just so irrelevant, he said, to his career, to that drive home he even talks about, where he's just like, I guess I did it. I thought I would feel so much dopamine and craziness and whatever, and he didn't feel shit.
You know what, I wrote this down today, actually.
Yeah.
Because, because this happens with people with money, too, right? Like, you hear all these stories about rich people. They get rich, and they're like, why am I not happy yet? All that. I think it's a lot of things like that, like money, right? External validation. We think we're going to get these things. I think the real, thing that prioritizes above all that is actually just life engagement.
Yeah.
Like, being engaged with a life is so much more fulfilling than that end goal. The end goal is great, but it's like, it doesn't give you the thing you thought you wanted. It's a great teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this concept of false summits. And in mountain climbing, the false summit is where from where you're at on the mountain, you look up and you think you see the peak. You're like, oh, fuck yeah, just a little more to go. And you're climbing and it's still blocking you. And then you get to that top and you see, oh, fuck, this ain't it. And there's a whole nother fucking summit. And so that's life. It's like there's so many of these things where you think once that happens. And no, you can literally make the decision today to start enjoying your life. And look, I know that this is absolutely easier said than done, but I think that even if you're really, really bad off right now, in a lot of ways, whatever that means for you, I think that you can still find ways, and that's I would almost sum up all of Abraham Hicks with that. She talks about that relentlessly, about your vibrational set point. So why do bad things keep happening to me? It's because while you're in them, you just expect more bad. You're in a bad mood. The vibration you're offering is so negative that it keeps you trapped there and only attracting more negative.
You know what I figured out, too?
What?
I figured this out, today, just a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people might not relate to this, but, I learned about myself. Maybe people relate, but it's there's levels of commitment to life. I found that, you could view life as a roller coaster. I found that I care less about the ride and more about, analyzing the ride.
Okay, yeah.
And, that's probably, I'm not alone. There's probably people that live in, fear and, people that just, they're not committed to life.
Oh, so are you saying that you've done that and you view it as, something you should probably not be doing?
No, it's something I like doing.
Okay, so got it. Got it.
I may never fully commit to life.
Right.
But that's interesting, right? People have different levels of commitment to life where they're trying to enjoy it or they're prevented from enjoying it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So the analyzation of life is something that you enjoy, in the sense of kind of the
I can tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's 50% fear, 50% curiosity.
Okay.
And that's just how I've walked through the earth.
Got it.
I feel like a lot of people are on they're in life, they're taking it extremely seriously.
Yes.
I don't know, picture a girl on her sweet 16.
Okay.
It's this big party, and oh my God, my friends were there, and my dad, and the thing. It's or a kid on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yeah.
Who's immersed. I'm
okay.
like the guy on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. It's like those pirates are made of cardboard. You know what I mean? It's
okay.
like you can go through life in any way. I don't think there's any like wrong way or right way.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, being committed to life is like a choice you have to make. You have to decide like what's right for you. Like, do you want to like fully be in the Matrix and enjoy life?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be like, you know, I mean, pickup's strange, right?
Yeah.
Being outside of it is very strange.
Yeah.
You know? So you got to like choose like pick your battles. Pick like how you want to experience life.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What were you going to say?
I was going to say feeling signatures. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it, yes.
Teal talks about these.
Yeah.
It's like everything in life has a feeling signature. The taste of biting into a lemon, or like anything. Everything has a feeling signature. The feeling of running a business or running a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You could imagine like how anything feels, and then kind of use that as a guide. You could be like, how do these things I'm imagining feel? Oh, I could like go towards that. Maybe that'd be really fun to create, or that'd be amazing to like live life this way.
Yeah.
So like thinking about like feeling signatures.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Aaron the other day too we were talking about TRT and tests and stuff, and I had said, you know, one of the big things that you'll always hear people talk about that don't want to do it, and it's not to say that you should do it, but I'm just saying there'll be a guy who is clinically low on test. He's trying everything, it's not going up, but he's like, I would never do like a needle and whatever. And people always use this thing where they say, you don't want to become dependent upon anything. I don't want to become dependent upon it. Don't you have to do that for life? And I said, yeah, but you also are dependent upon shitting. You're dependent upon sleeping.
Yeah.
You're dependent upon eating. You are dependent upon many, many things in this life. And so I also do think, you know, because a criticism that I've had to think about over the years that I get often is, I get it from girls, I get it from people on the internet, various people in my life, is, you know, you're just a sex addict. You're like a fucking sex addict.
They put you in that box.
Yeah. And it's like sex addiction, and it's like you're because of trauma, you're trying to like
the jaded player shit.
You're
right?
trying to like prove something to somebody, like all this shit, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I can think of times where I got a massive ego high from fucking. I can think of times where it was like, I don't know, people knew that I fucked this chick and they're like, holy shit, you're fucking that? Oh my God, whatever. I can think of some ego times. But then I'm just like, I don't know. I think of a lot of times where I don't think I get anything other than the physical pleasure and experience of it.
You just like it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, maybe I'm addicted to sex in a way, but why are I know the answer to this, of like why are addictions a bad thing, but also it's kind of like what you said a second ago of like there's no real right or wrong way to make it through this thing,
right?
To go through this thing, and I just think everyone is very quick to just deem things as an addiction.
Something, yeah.
And I think that everyone's gonna be, I think at a certain level, unless you are the yogi under the waterfall, unless you are the silent monk who has not spoken for 30 years and all this shit, I think you're gonna get addicted to some shit. You're gonna get addicted to things.
Yeah.
What is it that you're addicted to? Are you addicted, as Eckhart Tolle says, to your thoughts? We are addicted, many, many people. We're all addicted to our thoughts in some capacity. Are you addicted to your thoughts? Are you addicted to your phone? Are you addicted to TV? Are you addicted to this certain type of food? All these things. And to me, I think that I've always tried to eliminate all addictions. And you know what's crazy, man, is like last winter, or no, not last winter. It was this past summer while I was still drinking alcohol. I remember being so stressed out about trying to quit all of my addictions.
Yeah, wow.
I would be back on nicotine gum, and then I'd be back on caffeine, and I'd be like, okay, as long as I don't drink for the next 2 weeks, I can have the nicotine gum, I can have the coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm cutting out the nicotine gum. This is amazing. I'm only on the coffee. Oh, and I just was like, you know what? Nicotine's great.
Yeah.
I enjoy nicotine. For
Yeah.
anybody watching right now, I'm chewing nicotine gum. And yeah, I guess, I don't know, in the long run, my artery, whatever. I don't plan on making it to 60. I don't.
Oh.
I don't, dude. I'm 31 years old. I can't imagine doing this again.
You feel like your life is more than half over.
I have lived so long. I can't believe I'm only 31 sometimes.
That's
it
funny.
blows my mind.
You've done a
I feel
lot.
80.
Yeah.
I feel so wise. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm off the booze. I realize that's a detrimental addiction for me. I'm off the booze. I no longer have a food addiction of any kind. You can probably watch these like episode by episode and see that I'm losing about 5 pounds a week for the last like 5 weeks, pretty much.
Nice.
I mean, I'm off food, really. I don't crave bad food. I've completely reset my gut biome with a probiotic called Visiome. And I've switched to only doing Ezekiel bread. I do organic beef. I do eggs. And that's pretty much just what I eat. And I fuel my body. My body feels good. But I'm not addicted to food. I'm not addicted to booze. So to me, I'm like, you know what? Nicotine, a little caffeine, maybe a little too much fucking than I should be doing. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
You can pick whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can pick whatever battles you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think as a man, too, you know, I remember we had a teacher. Her name was Mrs. Holland in 7th grade. And I remember she taught us, she would make us affirm every day, I am me and I am okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, in
Not
7th
bad.
grade.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and even in high school and shit, people would quote Miss Holland.
Wow.
And be like, but I am me and I am okay. Like if you failed a test or something like that. And we'd do it as a joke.
That's
but,
cool.
I mean, it ingrained into her so much that if I were to, or into the students so much that if I were to meet somebody from Midview and I would say, you know, I run into somebody at the bar, oh, you went to Midview? What's Miss Holland's tagline? I am me and I am okay. And I think that you do just kind of have to get to a point where that's another thing is you get so addicted to self-development. I've been so addicted to self-development at different times in my life that it has made me feel like some of my character traits are fucked up and wrong and I need to be more this and more that. And then eventually I think you just start to lean into who you are more and you're just like, yeah, I'm kind of fucked up sometimes, but life's lit. I enjoy the fuck out of myself.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the fuck out of life. So I don't need to be perfect all the time. And so for anybody listening to this, it's like, this is I always say there's so many tightropes we must walk in life. There's a lot of tightropes. And one of the major tightropes that you got to walk in this life is the tightrope between acceptance and then actually fixing what the fuck you need to be fixing in life. And I think it's really beneficial for guys sometimes to find some acceptance in things.
Did you want to go back to, because you were talking about the Alex Jones mission thing?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you in the midst of that, what's your mission?
So I almost was going to go down that rant, but I actually do believe that was almost the entire episode last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll just kind of rephrase it for anybody that didn't listen. But I mean, for me, I do just, the longer that I've been coaching, and so then the more guys who I've seen completely transform, send me these crazy text messages of like shit that's gone down since the mentorship and things that have happened since the boot camp and all this stuff. For me, I do just now feel the most that I've ever felt in my life, like I have the ability to make an impact, I would say, to make a real, true, positive impact.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. And so to me, I really do identify one of the, I'm done saying the one of, the number one factor I truly believe in men's mental health from birth to death is going to be their romantic relationships.
Wow.
I mean, straight the fuck up. And guys listening to this that have done a decent amount of dating, you know what your life was like when you were with a girl you didn't want to be with, that talked down to you, that treated you like shit. You know what it was like when you had a huge crush on a girl and you could never tell her, and then she started dating your friend, and then you had to hear about them fucking all the time. You know what it's like to just to do things in life and wish that you were doing that thing with a girl, having a girlfriend there, because you've done it with a girlfriend, you just realize it's way more fun. So it's the number one determining factor, I believe. I believe that there are men around the world committing suicide who if they had a romantic partner in their life that they felt that relationship was fulfilling them. This is, of course, not across the board. Mental disease is real. It's real. People are also happily married and they get crazy depressed and whatever the fuck. But, massive number of people are depressed, and it's due to loneliness. It's due to that inability to connect with others. And that was one of the things that I remember really liking about Teal Swan, actually, when you showed her to me, was that I myself had always really rejected the notion of the kind of the lonely island sort of notion. You shouldn't need anybody, you shouldn't be dependent upon anybody, and all this stuff. And I remember I would just always think, like, I don't know, like, isn't life just so much better with people in it? Haven't we evolved that way? And then I remember Teal had that amazing video on connection and talking about how connection is more important than fucking food. In a lot of ways.
She said when people like get suicidal, or no, when people go through a breakup, they stop eating.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot of like scientific shit that suggests that we actually prioritize our connection over our basic needs.
Right. Yeah, and so, you know, I think that there's so many guys that are sitting at home and maybe even listening to this right now that they are just jam-packed. Their mind is just clogged the fuck up with insane amounts of limiting beliefs, that they don't have anybody to process these beliefs with. They don't have anybody, any sound voice in their fucking ear telling them how irrational these beliefs can be. You know, I had a guy in my mentorship who just started this week. He's definitely going to hear this, but we were talking all about his fear of commitment and how it means that he'll lose his freedom. And so we went really deep into where in his life he felt as though his freedom had been taken from him. And so where now does any commitment trigger him and make him feel like, I'm going to lose my freedom again. I'm going to lose my freedom again. So we identified several different circumstances in his life where it was actually mind-blowing to him. And he was like, fuck, I never even thought of that. Like that kind of shit. And I was able to help him. Usually we use irrational so negatively. You're being irrational. But an irrational belief can be very neutral, right? Yeah. It's oh, we can't see what's in those bushes over there. There's probably a monster. Oh, it's dark out. There must be monsters in the darkness. These are irrational beliefs. And so I was able to help him see where he actually had lost control of his own self and his own ability to set boundaries, create his own reality. And so the irrational belief that he starts dating a girl and things start to get a little more serious, that he's going to lose that freedom and not be available to set those boundaries, that to him was something that I was able to identify as an irrational belief. That once he identified that, it was able to help him see, oh wow, I'm actually holding back while I'm approaching out of this insane fear that I have of losing my freedom.
Wow.
This crazy fear. And so I think there's a lot of guys sitting at home with these sorts of irrational beliefs, these limiting beliefs. You know, you've got a lot of this where I'm not tall enough, my face isn't good looking enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm too old, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm just so fucked up, I'm such a piece of shit, there's no girl that could ever want me. And you really need people in your life that are going to help you to see the truth, which is that everybody has very, very desirable qualities within them. And it's how much are you allowing your own negative perspective of yourself, how much are you allowing that to actually keep trapped the desirable qualities that you have within you?
And the big like thing, like it's gonna sound simple and like so obvious, but it's huge, is you just have to focus on your strengths.
Yeah.
Like your innate, you know, your cute, adorable innate values that are innate to you, like your strengths.
Yeah.
Like, your strengths are going to, like, see you to the other side of things. And this doesn't get talked about enough. It's so important because I know we've seen every type of guy in this industry that wants to get good with women. We've seen guys that, like, it all comes down to, like, where your focus is.
Yeah.
There's so many guys that focus on. Like, you could show me a video on height. Like the height curve. Look, the height curve. If this percentage of women won't like you if you're 5'4", the height curve. What about the 10%?
Yes.
Like, why do I care about the 90%?
Yep.
It's a focus. Like, and this is what you got to do. And so most people won't even hear that. Most people won't even line themselves up with someone to help them with connection if they don't seek it out.
Yep.
If they don't, like, look for it. So it's a focus.
Yep. And we've talked about this before on the podcast, but I do this all the time. I love pointing this out to people when I see, and I do it on boot camps all the time. I love pointing it out when I see a short guy, like a really short guy. He's like 5'4".
Yeah.
Short dude. And then he's with a bad bitch.
He's Tom Cruise.
And she's shorter than him or just as tall as him, or in some cases, this is more rare, let's be real, that she's even taller than him. But dude, there's this bad bitch from my high school, and she, of like so many of the girls from my high school, she has kept her looks and gotten even more attractive. Her boyfriend, no, fucking husband now, is way shorter than her. It's crazy how much shorter he is than her. And it's almost funny. Sometimes I look at the pics, I'm like, it's almost funny looking. But that guy, whatever it was, whether it's his fucking personality, I mean, it must be his personality. Maybe he's got some money. I don't know what he's got going on, but she was fucking into him. But you're exactly right. I don't care about the chart. I don't give a fuck. I care about, then I'm going to find the 10% of girls that are going to be fucking into me.
Yeah.
No matter what. And you see this all the time, these short guys with these short girls, and the girls are fucking hot. I look at this chick like, God damn, I want that fucking chick. Anybody would love to be with that chick. And because he just so happened to, he had all these other positive traits, he ends up with that chick. And everyone is so focused on all the things that they can't get. And that's what we do in life. We focus on everything that we can't have. We focus on everything that we don't have. And why don't we have that? And we never put enough emphasis on what we do have and how grateful we should be to have what we do have.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like I was saying, like, it always comes down to, like, those basic needs, like external validation, money, and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like engagement with life should be prioritized above that. So it's, if you're like, I need these things. I need these things that make me feel good, because that's what it's all fighting for.
Yeah.
It's like, to get a better life, to one up someone else. It's like people aren't even, like, equal.
Yeah.
Like, there's inequality everywhere. Everybody fights for equality. It's like people are not all equal. You just got, like, your own strengths. You got to rock, like, your own strengths, and then also see how your life is going to be different than theirs, and not even compare.
And it is the focus too, because you could take two guys who they look identical. Let's say they're short and ugly. They're just two short, ugly guys. And you take one of those guys and he is just so down about how short he is. He just wishes, he prays, he thinks about it all the time. He watches videos on why women are dumb bitches because they won't date short guys and these things and whatever. You take that guy, and what does he have now? Well, now he also has an incredibly repressed personality. He is incredibly much less likely to even talk to women now, because that is his worldview. He's not going to have the social confidence to tease, to make a joke, to meet new people. You take the other guy, again, he's the same looking everything, but he says, yeah, I guess I'm just short and ugly. I don't know. I'm going to go for shit. I'm going to have fucking fun. And now that guy, he's got more friends. He's more socially fluid. He's more likely. He's at terms with who he is. So he's more likely to tease and make fun of a girl because he's not afraid of the potential of her calling him you're a short little fuck. He's like, he knows. He
Yeah.
doesn't care. It's the famous Eminem diss, or the Eminem rap battle, right?
Wait.
In 8 Mile.
Oh.
It's the famous 8 Mile rap battle where he literally knows everything that they're going to punk him on.
Oh, right.
He knows everything that they're going to try to tear him apart with, and he just gets up there and fucking raps about all of it and basically ends it with like, what the fuck do you have now? And the guy's just like, fuck, he just literally took everything I was going to say, right?
Yeah.
You got to be at fucking terms with who you are. Always strive to be better. But especially in those circumstances where you can't change it, where you can't get taller. You can go get surgery, I guess, but you're still going to find you're going to have the same dumb fucking dumbed down shithole personality. And I want to say this.
Sure.
This is very important.
Okay.
I am somebody, okay, I remember specifically when I would say the worst I ever was in my life was when I was working at the pizza shop here in Columbus between ages 20 and basically 22, was when I was the worst socially that I had ever been. And I mean, I remember just like not being able to keep conversations going at work, being very on edge while in any conversations, not being funny,
Wow.
like just so repressed.
Can I interrupt with a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you also sense that you had like a really bad attitude towards people at that time?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yep. I had jobs in the past where I became really good friends with everybody, and I would party with them, and we'd all go out and stuff. And then when I was living here, like I said, it was my darkest times. I was my heaviest. I felt like such a failure. I was so lost. I had no direction. I thought, oh, by the time I'm 21, I'll like have lost the weight.
You didn't have the mission.
I had no mission. I was completely lost. I'm dying studying for a fucking Western Civ exam at OSU. Dying to like pass this class. And for what? For no fucking reason. No mission. So I remember basically being so down on myself and so fucked up mentally that I couldn't even talk to people.
Wow.
I remember leaving conversations with coworkers and thinking, like, I didn't even talk. I was so weird. It was almost like they were trying to involve me and I couldn't. And then I'd get all in my head about that and try to show up more social the next day and like just fucked up. And so I want to say this, and this is, gonna definitely trigger some of you. Yeah.
What's he gonna say?
Yeah, it's gonna trigger you guys. If you really struggle with conversation, if you deeply struggle with conversation, then you are focused on all of the wrong things in life. And I don't give a fuck if you're successful in some area. I don't give a fuck if you're jacked. I don't give a fuck if you make money. I don't give a fuck. If you struggle with conversation, if you go out to talk to women and you run out of things to say, and I don't know what to say next, and I'm really into big ideas and growth, and these girls are so dumb. They're all just so dumb. If you can't talk to people, you are deeply, deeply focused on all of the wrong things in life, and you're heading in a real fucked up, dark direction that will lead you to a lifetime of hell and suffering.
Holy shit.
A lifetime of hell and fucking suffering. There is no... You gotta look at who would you trade places with in this life. Right? And sure, ideally, hopefully you have the philosophy of like, I wouldn't trade places with anybody. My life's great. Right, yeah, that's great. But like, but truly, it's like if God came down and said, you have to trade lives with people and now point out the people you would and the people that you wouldn't. The people that you would, they have good conversations. They talk well with others.
Okay.
They speak well with people.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
And you're never going to look at the socially anxious guy who can't talk and say, oh, but he's got money. Oh, but he's rich though, so who cares that all of his interactions are awkward? He sits there quietly at the dinner table and no one really engages him or invites him out again, or girls don't enjoy his company or his dates. He doesn't make women laugh. You don't. Your conversational ability is probably the number one factor that you really need to have down in this life. And if you struggle with it fucking massively, then you're focused on really fucked up shit. You're focused on self-hatred. You're focused on fucking black pill bullshit. You're focused on all the injustices and the evils of the fucking world. And because you're so wrapped up in the darkness, you can't let loose enough to partake in the light of connection. Fucking Rico, make this into a fucking reel. Go get the timer on that.
Yeah.
What time are we at?
That's 42 minutes. Raw.
Okay, cool. All right, cool, yeah.
What does it say about the person who is having trouble speaking socially? What does that say about their focus? I mean, I know you did expand on that a second ago, but like, what does that say?
So
help me connect that.
Couple things. So one is that you take everything far too seriously. You take everything far too seriously. You are just so important. And everyone's watching you at this bar, and your reputation is so important, and everything is just so serious, and I'm so important. And because I'm so important, I can't say something that would come off the wrong way. And this doesn't start in the field. This starts at work. This starts when you talk to your parents. This starts when you talk to the cashier at Target. This starts in your day-to-day life, where you are just, hi, yes, thank you. Yes, hi, thank you. Head down, head down, head down. So why are you head down all the time? You're head down all the time because you're incredibly afraid to make any wave or impact in this life. Why are you incredibly afraid to make any wave or impact? Because you have deep insecurities that you are afraid that somebody is going to call out. And so because you hate so much about yourself and you can't move into acceptance, you can't fix anything, you can't either accept or fix, then you are using your introverted ways as a survival mechanism. Being introverted is a survival mechanism. Keep my head down, focus on the paycheck and get home and just, all right, and now I survive. Money comes in, I don't have to deal with anybody, I'm not gonna potentially get in a fight, I'm not gonna get made fun of, I'm not gonna have anything happen to me. Head down is a survival mechanism. So a lot of people adopted the survival mechanism of head down when they were in school. A lot of people developed that in school. You can avoid getting made fun of, avoid social rejection. You can avoid a lot of things that your ego is going to be affected by keeping your head down. So now you get into the game and you say, hey, yeah, I'm an introvert, I'm shy, I don't know how to meet women, I'm gonna try now. And you're bringing that survival mechanism, you're bringing your lifetime of contraction into the Coliseum of expansion, where you're supposed to be expanding and focusing on expansion. You're bringing the contraction with you. And so then I stand here with a lifetime of experiences, a lifetime of movies I've watched and things I've done and things I think and that I know, and I'm just, what next? What next?
I love the Coliseum of expansion.
Yeah.
Like the club is the Coliseum of expansion.
Fuck yeah, it is.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. And so you bring that contraction with you.
You're saying you have all this life experience, but then nothing's coming out.
Yeah. Yes.
Because of fear.
Yes, exactly. Because of fear, you don't ever do anything that... I've been talking about this so much lately, about how you burn the boats in life, and then you're on the beach and you're starting a fire and you're doing your thing, and before you know it, more boats have appeared at the shore.
Yeah.
And there's more boats that need burned. So you are starting, you start to burn some boats. Oh, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna like whatever, but then there's hidden boats too. There's boats that are in the cave, and they hid in the cave. You thought you burned all the boats, but you fucking didn't. And so, I mean, dude, it's like, can you go somewhere? Can you get in your car and drive to the city that's 4 hours away, the big city? Can you get on a plane and go somewhere? Can you go somewhere where literally nobody knows you? And can you think of 10 fucked up things to say? Not offensive things.
Sure.
Just can you think of some fucked up shit to say that you would never in your life, that you've never said in your life, that you've never ever done, that you would never fucking say? Can you just can you just go up to a group of 3 girls and just say, hey, if I give you guys $1,000, would you guys, like, can we all have an orgy or something? Can you just go say some shit? I don't know. Hey, who do you think would win in a fight between, like, Michelle Obama and Oprah? Hey, what do you, like, just some dumb shit.
Sure.
I remember, I think I brought him up a couple episodes ago, and I think he even DM'd me. Thanks for the shout out on the podcast. But Michael in Miami, who I fucking had to force him to go up to these girls and say, hey, I'm looking to buy some shrooms. Or, hey, do you guys want to buy some shrooms? Yeah. And, dude, he had so much resistance. It was 2 girls clearly alone, clearly kind of bored of each other, just kind of dancing, but not really, and wanting to be approached, wanting some action. You don't want to go with your friend in Miami as a female and just like, yeah, and remember when the 2 of us just talked, and the 2 of us did this, and the 2 of us did that?
Yeah.
No, you want to come back from Miami and be like, and remember that one guy that came up and was like, do you want to buy shrooms?
Yeah.
He was freaking the fuck out. I sat with him. I was like, fuck the rest of the students. Go off with Alpha Chad. I worked with him for like 15 minutes to get him to do it. He finally went and did it. They loved him.
That's awesome.
They loved it. He had fun with them. Afterwards, he's just like, thank you for not letting me bail on that.
Yeah.
That was just it was such a big deal for me.
And that's value tactically, because to go up and say the standard thing is what they would hear from anybody, and it wouldn't be memorable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, what are you and you know, that question, the question of always, how do I, preserve my reputation on campus, and how do I not get known as the pickup guy, I'm like, you're not going to. Trust me, you're not going to. It's not going to fucking happen.
That's like the fear of getting too jacked in the gym or something.
Yeah. And then they'll point to the 5 stories around the country where it's like, this guy got banned from a campus. This fucking guy, whatever. When that happens, these guys are complete fucking sociopaths. There was a kid in my Facebook group a few years ago.
Sure.
They're fucked up. They're psychopaths when it happens. He is posting about how he's literally feeling like he has this is kind of not funny, but he's like posting about like, that he was suggesting he was going to kill himself.
Oh, fuck.
And that these girls he was going to get sued. They were leaving bad reviews on his business.
Wow.
All this shit. I'm thinking, oh, these are SJWs. These are feminists. This is unfair. He said the little thing suggesting that he feels like he has no way out. I reach out to him.
Wow.
I get on a call with him. I'm like, maybe I saved this kid's life. I get on the call with him. I did nothing. All I did was, literally, I just would ask them if they knew. I did nothing. And all I did was talk to girls. I'm like, man, this is fucked up. This kid did nothing. This kid did nothing. Oh.
I remember how this pans out.
Oh. All I did was ask girls where the thing is. I asked him to go on a date. That was it. He makes another post. The story's getting bigger.
Right.
I go, I wonder if people are tweeting about this. Because there's like a news article about it. I wonder if people are tweeting about this. I go and look. Girl after girl after girl sharing his screenshots.
His DMs.
Yep, DMs, texts. That's okay. Hey, you free tomorrow at 7:30? Hey, I was thinking about it. I'm just really busy right now. I don't think it's the best time for me to be dating anybody, but I wish you the best. That's okay, you fat fucking slut. Ha 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 ha. I was never going to fuck you anyways. I wouldn't fuck you with a 10-foot I mean, awful shit.
Yeah.
Right? So And there was a guy even in OSU, same thing. He got banned from campus over here. This guy was the fucking worst. He would post these fucked up secret sex videos, apparently with every one of these girls. He would bring them back and just like shots of 151, like shots. The girl would be like, I'm already like way too drunk. More shots. So these stories that you hear of the guy that like got in trouble, if you're not a fucking psycho.
It's that guy.
The fact that it hasn't happened to me.
That's true.
And it will. Trust me, it will, okay? Someday. But the fact it hasn't happened to me, I'm telling you guys, if you're not a fucking psychopath, it ain't gonna fucking happen.
And that goes back to the attitude thing. The focus on
One more thing.
Sure.
One more thing. What are you trying to preserve? You're a fucking nerd. You're a fucking dork. I'm just wondering, how do I not get the reputation? Because if I got a bad reputation, then everyone who knows me as the guy that fucking plays Halo and doesn't talk at work and is studying engineering, that reputation might be damaged. You're nothing. What are you trying to I don't get it. Dude, I don't know if it's shrooms. I don't know if it's a past life. I know how this all ends. I just know it. I can feel my deathbed. I know. I can feel when I'm 80, maybe 60, laying in my fucking death. I know I'm sitting on a fucking rocking chair. I know the fucking regret of dude, you guys are gonna look back and be like, my life fucking sucked. I did nothing with this. You're gonna get told you have cancer, and you're gonna be like, I didn't do fucking shit. I used to watch Aaron Alexander, and I never fucking approached. I never did anything. I fucked 3 girls, 2 were hookers, and 1's my ugly wife. And I didn't even have fun with her. We didn't even have a fun marriage where we fucking stayed together because we had a kid. My life sucked. What did I do? I'm telling you, stop trying to preserve your gay-ass fucking everyone thinks you're a fucking faggot. Stop trying to preserve your fucking reputation. You have none. You are nothing. You're nobody. And that's a freeing thought.
Yeah.
You are nothing. You are nobody.
You have
None of
nowhere
this
to go
is
but
fucking
up.
real. You have nowhere to go but up. Jesus Christ.
That's so funny. It's a great point. Like, yeah, you got nowhere to go but up, man.
What are you trying to fucking preserve? It's just so insane to me. I really don't get it. And the only way, and guys, listen, everything is a fucking muscle. Everything is a muscle. I did a podcast with Austin Summers, and I was telling him all about, I remember doing a cold approach. I did one cold approach prior to pickup. And I'm with my buddy Matt Farrar, he would get laid all the time. And I think one of his buddies in college who also got laid all the time. And I'm hanging out with them. And there's just this one girl at the bar at Outer Inn here in Columbus. And dude, I just keep looking at her. And I'm asking them, like, what would I say if I like went up? And then I keep drinking to loosen up. And I keep looking at her and trying to build the courage all night. And then I finally do go up and talk with her. I have a really boring, like, bullshit conversation. I end up saying, well, it was really good talking to you, after I'm just trembling and shaking. So any infield you've ever seen, or the way I talk here, whatever, of where I'm like saying crazy shit to girls, that I had to build that. And the way I built it was by taking incredibly scary leaps and then discovering little by little, oh, I thought they would get offended, but they thought that was funny. That made them laugh and like me more. Oh, I thought this would be offensive, but they liked it. Oh, my buddy, my wing just said that, and I thought that would be offensive, but they liked it. I had to take leaps and learn over time that you expand a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit, and then, because you've done that 10 times, now you can go a little further, and you just push it and push it. So you build that fucking muscle. So I don't care how introverted you are right now, the detriment, the sin is not to go full extrovert this weekend, but it's to not even start a little bit, getting outside of your dumb fucking shell of your fucking reputation. Jesus Christ.
Yep. And
I'm sure you've experienced that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really do think it's just all about that attitude, like what you focus on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Start moving towards this if it's important to you.
They're just gonna look at me like I'm dumb. They're just gonna look at me like I'm dumb. They look at me like I'm dumb. I hear that one all the time. I open, they looked at me like I'm dumb. You are. You are, and that's okay. It's just.
I think the other thing too is like any blow to the ego, any small mockery, it doesn't mean anything. You're gonna go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
You're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Like people can look at you like you're dumb and then you go to sleep.
Here's what it comes down to, is that there might not be any meaning in this life. And maybe we do have to create meaning. And whether you know it or not, you attach meaning to everything in your life. I say something, somebody says something to you, you attach a meaning to it.
Yeah.
What did that mean? You attach the meaning. Guys will send me a text. The girl said to me, "Hey, I'm not sure if I'm free on Friday." What does it mean? To some people it means, well, she's just not interested, otherwise she would have hit me with a rebuttal. She would have hit me with another offer to hang out. But what is the reality of what it meant? She doesn't know what she's doing on Friday or if she's free. And it's on you to fucking lead. And yes, in an ideal world, every girl you text, she hits you back with rebuttal. She's into you. She leads, right? Don't we all just want women to lead? I don't, because I love when they're fucking submissive little sluts. But you guys want them to lead. They're not going to be. Be the change you want to see in the world. You're expecting everybody to fucking lead. You need to lead. Then other people will lead.
Can you do me a favor?
Ah! What?
Scream lead.
Lead! Make that the opening clip. Have it start where it's just literally just that. Lead! And then have it fucking gut to the intro.
No problem.
All right, do that tomorrow. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I just want to stick on this tangent because it's not a tangent. This is deep. I mean, it's maybe the entire bane of not only game but existence is this ego preservation.
Yeah.
And really trying to identify, what am I trying to preserve?
It's not expansion, and it's also I think the more internally validated you are, the less even that, like she said she's not free Friday, the less these things don't affect you, the less the mockery affects you, the less the ambiguous text affects you, right? Like when you make meaning out of everything, when you're internally validated, that meaning's not going to be negative against you. It's going to be like, oh, it's just, she's not free Friday. Oh, I just got mocked. I don't get, dude, you know me. I don't give a fuck what people think of me. I'll do fucking whatever. I'll shit in the street.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny. I'd laugh.
Yeah.
That's a church. That's where I would do it.
Prove it. No, I'm kidding. We don't want to do that.
You don't want to say prove it because you think like I might.
You would do it. You would maybe actually go do it. Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
like, not everybody can be like that or should.
Yeah.
But like, the point is, it's like, yeah, like don't care.
Yeah. 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 It's and no one's gonna, you can get help in that. I can help you. You guys can sign up for the mentorship. You can come out of boot camp. I mean, those are really good ways. But at the end of the day, one day when Daddy Aaron Alexander's not around and you're not on boot camp anymore and you're not in the mentorship anymore, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to be the author of your own reality. You've got to be the sculptor of your life. And it's just, there's just so many people that they understand all of this logically.
Yeah.
But they're still just not going to do it. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that somebody can listen to this whole thing and they totally get it? They're like, he's right. They're both right about all of this, but then still not do anything.
I think people think that the most important thing in the world is in game.
Is what?
I think a lot of people think that the most important thing in the world isn't game.
Oh, okay.
I think they you've told me this. You said I figured it all out. Everything's about fucking.
Yeah.
You said everything's about fucking. I figured it all out. I went outside and I went to the woods. I figured it all out. Everything's about fucking.
Yeah.
And nobody fucking knows it. Nobody gets it.
Yeah.
Everything else is to run around, and it's all about fucking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it probably is. Who knows?
Yep.
Right? But, like, if it's all about fucking, you know, everybody else is getting lost in the sauce.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, there's a lot of important things out there in this life. But yeah, at the end of the day, so much of life does come down to fucking. And maybe I would change that a little bit to saying that it really is about human to human connection. You know, I think there's a lot of people out there that they're broke and their life is kind of shit, but they're really fucking happy because they're surrounded by, and maybe they're other trash people. You know, sometimes you shouldn't actually leave your trashy environment. Sometimes that's a great life. I mean, I think I would be just as happy if I would have just, like, stayed in my shithole life and just still been hanging out with people back home. I don't know.
I've had thoughts about that with Brick.
Yeah.
But then I do go back to, you know, what you and your boss had said, which is, like, it's cool until it's not.
Yep.
And I definitely think that now it would have definitely been old.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to move.
Yeah.
With the tide.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. This was a good episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, just get out there and take some action, man. I mean,
lead.
Yeah, you got to lead, and you got to really think too. Just it's like saving for the future, in a way. I mean, you got to look. Let's just say you're gonna have a kid. Let's just say right now, you know, you're gonna have kids. For many of you, that is a 100% fact. You know it, you want it, it's who you are. Well, you gotta just look at what kind of father are you gonna be for your kid? What's the mom gonna be like that your kid is growing up with? What's the kid's genetics gonna be like? If you end up with some frumpy, ugly-ass, genetically weak woman because you never developed the capability of attracting a more attractive woman, you're more likely to end up with deformed children. You're more likely to end up with stupid children, ugly children. I mean, do this for your kids. If you're not going to do game for you, do it for your fucking future son. And one day, if you don't do any of this, you're going to look into the eyes of your obese, one-armed, Down syndrome son.
Oh my God.
And she's going to be in the arms of your ugly, undiagnosed autistic, fat, disgusting, awful Irish genetic wife.
Damn.
And you're going to look at that son and you're going to say, I'm sorry. I should have listened to Aaron Alexander.
Why, Daddy? Why?
Why did you take the boot camp, Daddy? You could have taken the boot camp. Now I only have one eye because of you.
That's a commercial where they wake up and they're 20 and they're like, they rush to the computer and they type in Evolution Daily after that.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's like the ghost of, we should make a commercial where it's like the ghost of, what is that? Like it's not called A Christmas Story. A Christmas Carol.
Oh, okay.
The ghosts of like Christmas future, Christmas past, Christmas present. Yeah. You wake up, it's a horrible dream. You sign up for a boot camp. Yeah. And yeah, guys, if you made it this far, sign up for a boot camp. We got Austin coming up. I'll be moving there. It's my inaugural home boot camp. So that's going to be June 17th through the 19th. We've only got 2 spots left on that boot camp. So make sure that you sign up for that. You guys can sign up and do a free call with Alpha Chad to hear more details about the boot camp, including the pricing, the various payment plans that we offer to help make sure that really anybody can do the boot camp, help you spread out those payments over time. If there's a part of you that's like, oh, I just wouldn't be able to afford it, we make it so that way you can. Because I really want to, at a certain point, you know, I have to respect myself. If I was offering boot camps for too cheap or free, too many people would be taking them, and that wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to me. It wouldn't be fair to the students. And so, you know, as much as I'd love to get them away for free, we can't, but we offer payment plans to help anybody who wants to be on the boot camp to be able to do so. And it's really just the only thing I really care about in life really is Evolution Daily and helping you guys. And, you know, some of it is ego. I don't care. Some of it is that I love getting those texts from guys that had success. And, you know, the recent boot camp student who told me he's fucked 5 chicks. He was originally a virgin on the boot camp, or on the, he did a boot camp / mentorship. We did both. He was originally a virgin, and he's fucked 5 chicks in the last 2 months now.
That's awesome.
And he's not working with me right now. He just fills me in sometimes. He's just like, dude, it's getting crazy. And I'm just like, fuck yeah. You know, and I sit there and I think about, you know, his hard dick just going into that wet pussy. It's just, he's throbbing, you know, and she's just screaming. And I just think, you know, I'm the one that did that.
You even think about her.
Well, yeah. Her, her too. I think about her too.
Think about the girls too.
Yeah, for sure. The boobies and stuff. Yeah. So, you know, it's my greatest passion. And so I guess I would just ask you to, 1, take a boot camp for you, and 2, take a boot camp for me. So that way in 6 months, when you're just fucking out there slaying, when it completely shifts your entire reality in the way that it does for many of our students, then you can text me also and say, man, things are fucking different. Things are goddamn different. And man, I mean,
you like seeing the hope in these guys' eyes.
You gotta have hope. Yeah.
You feel bad for the men in the world that don't have hope, and you want to, like, that's your mission, is like you want to fill them back with hope.
I went to a hockey game yesterday.
Okay.
And dude, I'm not a judgmental guy. I really I don't walk around like, look at this fat fuck and like whatever. I don't. It was fun. Yeah, there's some middle America fatties there, and it's fun and It's great. But it wasn't even fat people. It was that when you get around a mass of people, and I guess really a mass of men where it's not just self-development focused, it's just the world, you really just see a lot of The Walking Dead.
Oh shit.
You just see The Walking Dead. You see a lot of people that are just kind of in this,
What did you see?
They're in this purgatory between being alive and being dead. And they're just, it's like this, it's this gloss over the eyes. It's this low eyelid, dark circle. It's this slowly getting up,
tired,
and slowly standing up, and just like, you just see this death in people. And then you look around, you also see a lot of life, and it's not even just about age. You know, you just see people that are just, they move with a purpose, and they move with a smile, and, you know, the guy's holding his wife's hand, and he just looks healthy and happy, and you see that, and you see so much death, and it's just, yeah, I mean, you just got to make the choice, I guess, you know? I mean, I feel like I just ranted the whole hour on how not to be that, so it just essentially kind of comes down to you guys, and
make the choice.
Yeah, make the choice. Sign up for a fucking boot camp, man. I mean, these things are incredible. And also, too, if you're just curious, if you're like, have other people taken the boot camp? Go to evolutiondaily.com, click the testimonials tab, hear what other people have to say. We don't even upload all of them. I just found like 3 on the hard drive that never even got uploaded.
Nice.
You've got 7 that you just finished up today. That, I mean, we just have so many clients, and we did something too where we reached out to people that took the boot camp a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? Because so many of the testimonials are from like right after the boot camp, which is sick. But also, we're going to be posting more of guys where a year ago they took the boot camp, 2 years ago, and they talk about the shift that created and the momentum that created for them and the path that it set them on and how much more positive and happy that their life is. So, yeah, man, Tony Robbins says your success is going to be dependent upon your resourcefulness. And Evolution Daily, the courses, the coaching, it's a resource. It's at your disposal. And if you don't want to be resourceful, then don't be. Continue, you know, Janice Griffith is always going to have free content online. So you could just watch that, or you could, you know, get your game on point and fuck Janice in real life.
Fuck Janice in real life.
Fuck Janice in real life. Peace.